Have you ever felt stuck in life, wondering why you aren't progressing despite trying so hard? Do you sometimes ask yourself, why can't I feel truly happy and content no matter what I achieve? Or perhaps you've caught yourself repeating the same unproductive habits, hoping for different results. These are questions that many of us face daily. Imagine this. A traveler sets out on a long journey but keeps walking in circles because they don't realize their compass is broken. No matter how far they walk, they never reach their destination. This is how life feels when we hold on to habits that don't serve us. But here's the good news. You can fix your compass and walk a new path toward becoming a better you. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we unravel life's challenges and offer practical insights to help you grow into your best self. If you've been searching for clarity and a fresh start, you're in the right place. But before we dive into today's life-changing lessons, there's something we'd like to say. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers have subscribed. If you find value in the ideas shared here, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It's just one small step, but it means the world to us and helps us bring more transformative content your way. Now, let's explore how to begin this journey. Buddhism teaches that true transformation starts within. To become a better version of yourself, you must first recognize the habits holding you back. It's not about striving for perfection, but understanding the small, intentional steps that create a meaningful life. These habits aren't just about doing more, but doing better. They involve cultivating mindfulness, kindness, and clarity in everything you do. When your mind is calm and focused, and your actions align with your values, life becomes simpler, lighter, and more fulfilling. Think of yourself as a sculptor, carefully shaping a masterpiece. Each habit you embrace or let go of is like chiseling away at the block of marble. Slowly but surely, your best self emerges from within. In the parts ahead, we'll uncover specific habits rooted in the wisdom of Buddhism that can elevate your life. These aren't abstract ideas, but practical tools you can use every day. Are you ready to begin this transformative journey? Let's take the first step together. Cultivating mindfulness, the habit of present awareness. In the stillness of a quiet morning, when the world is just beginning to wake, there is a moment when all that exists is the sound of your breath, the warmth of the sun on your skin, and the gentle rustling of leaves. But most of the time, we don't notice these moments. We are too busy thinking about what happened yesterday or worrying about tomorrow. The practice of mindfulness is about waking up to the present moment, just as it is, without distractions or judgment. Mindfulness is not a complicated practice. It's simply the act of paying full attention to what you are doing right now. Whether it's washing dishes, walking, or having a conversation, mindfulness asks you to be fully present in that experience. You are not thinking about what's next or what is past. You are simply living the moment. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But in today's world, where we are bombarded by information and noise from every direction, staying present can feel like an impossible task. Yet, mindfulness is one of the most powerful habits you can cultivate to become a better version of yourself. It clears away the clutter of the mind and helps you focus on what truly matters. Let me offer you an example. Imagine a person who is constantly racing through their day, checking their phone, planning the next task, and worrying about the future. They may feel like they are achieving a lot, but inside, they are scattered. They rarely stop to appreciate the simple beauty of life. Now, imagine this same person takes just 5 minutes each morning to sit quietly and breathe. They focus only on the sensation of their breath entering and leaving their body. This is mindfulness. The more they practice it, the more they can bring that sense of calm into their daily life. Mindfulness, when practiced regularly, has the power to transform not just your thoughts but your actions. You begin to notice your reactions to situations and how often you operate on autopilot. You notice the impulses to react out of anger, frustration, or fear. But with mindfulness, you can pause before reacting. You can choose how to respond, instead of being driven by unconscious habits. This is not to say that mindfulness will make life perfect or free from difficulties. The storms of life will still come, but mindfulness teaches you to face those storms with a calm and clear mind, without being swept away by them. The Buddhist practice of mindfulness is rooted in the belief that the mind is often clouded by distractions and desires. We are constantly pulled in many directions by our thoughts and emotions. But when we practice mindfulness, we begin to observe these thoughts without attachment. We see them as they are, just thoughts. They don't define us, and they don't control us. We can let them pass like clouds in the sky. In Buddhism, there is a concept called the 5 hindrances. These are the mental states that cloud the mind and keep us from seeing clearly. Desire, aversion, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and doubt. Mindfulness helps us recognize when these hindrances arise and teaches us how to free ourselves from their grip. When you are mindful, you can observe the mind without judgment. You don't criticize yourself for thinking negative thoughts or for feeling anxious. Instead, you simply notice the thoughts and let them go. This is incredibly freeing. It allows you to experience life more fully, without the constant noise of your inner critic or the pressure of your desires. One of the simplest ways to start cultivating mindfulness is through meditation. But meditation is not about forcing the mind to be empty or perfect. It's about observing, just sitting, breathing, and observing what arises in your mind. When thoughts come, you acknowledge them, but you don't follow them. You let them float away like leaves on a stream. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to stay present and calm, no matter what is happening around you. Another way to practice mindfulness is by incorporating it into daily activities. You don't need to be in a quiet room to be mindful. You can practice mindfulness while walking, eating, or even doing chores. When you eat, focus on the taste, the texture, the smell of the food. When you walk, pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the sound of your steps, and the movement of your body. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you realize that there is a profound peace in simply being. You begin to understand that happiness does not depend on the future or the past, but on being present. You learn to stop chasing after things that you think will make you happy, and instead, you find contentment in what is already here. But how does mindfulness help you become a better person? It helps by allowing you to respond to life with clarity and compassion. When you are mindful, you become aware of your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. You can catch yourself before reacting impulsively. You can choose to respond with kindness, patience, and understanding, instead of anger, frustration, or fear. Mindfulness also helps you develop a deeper sense of gratitude. When you are present in the moment, you begin to appreciate the simple joys of life. The warmth of the sun, the sound of laughter, the beauty of nature. These things may have seemed insignificant before, but now they bring you peace and joy. In Buddhism, mindfulness is often paired with right effort, the effort to cultivate good qualities and remove negative ones. Through mindfulness, you begin to notice your habits, your patterns, and your tendencies. You can observe the habits that no longer serve you and choose to let them go. You can cultivate positive habits such as kindness, patience, and generosity. But there is also a deeper aspect of mindfulness that goes beyond just being present. Mindfulness can help you cultivate right view, seeing things as they truly are, not through the lens of your desires, fears, or biases. When you see clearly, you can make wise choices that align with your values and your true nature. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you will notice a shift in your life. You will become more aware of the interconnectedness of all things. You will begin to see that your thoughts, your words, and your actions have a ripple effect on the world around you. Mindfulness helps you understand that every moment is an opportunity to create positive change, both in yourself and in the world. So, how can you make mindfulness a habit? Start small. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day to simply sit and breathe. Notice the thoughts that arise, but don't attach to them. Practice mindfulness in your daily activities. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Remember, mindfulness is not about achieving perfection. It's about being present with whatever comes, without judgment. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and allowing life to unfold as it is. As you cultivate mindfulness, you will begin to notice a deep sense of peace and clarity within yourself. You will become more compassionate, more patient, and more present with others. And, most importantly, you will begin to see that becoming a better you is not about striving to be perfect, but about being fully present in each moment, embracing yourself and the world as they are. The power of gratitude. transforming your perspective. Gratitude. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet, it holds the power to change everything. When we look at life through the lens of gratitude, we begin to see not what we lack, but what we already have. Imagine, just for a moment, how your life would feel if you could start each day by appreciating everything around you. How different would it be if, instead of complaining about the challenges ahead, you welcome them with an open heart, seeing each obstacle as an opportunity for growth? In Buddhism, gratitude is seen as a gateway to happiness. It's not about waiting for big events to feel thankful. It's about noticing the little things that fill your life with joy. The warm cup of tea in the morning, the smile of a stranger, the quiet moments when you can breathe and just be. These are the moments that often go unnoticed, yet they carry the seeds of peace and contentment. Gratitude has the power to transform not only how we feel, but also how we act. It shifts our focus from what is wrong in our lives to what is right. It invites us to step out of the chaos of wanting more and into the calm of appreciating what is already here. This shift doesn't just improve our mood, it changes the energy around us. When you cultivate gratitude, you begin to attract more of what you are thankful for. The more you appreciate, the more life gives you reasons to appreciate. But how does one practice gratitude? It begins with the simple act of paying attention. The Buddha taught that we should live in the present moment, fully aware of our surroundings. Gratitude is rooted in mindfulness. When you are truly present, you can see, hear, and feel everything around you with clarity. Each moment, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to be thankful. Start by looking at your surroundings. Take a deep breath and notice the beauty in the simplest things. Maybe it's the sound of birds chirping outside, or the feeling of the sun on your skin. Perhaps it's the peace you feel as you sit down to enjoy a meal, or the comfort of your home after a long day. The more you look, the more you will see, and the more you will find to be thankful for. Gratitude is also a practice of acceptance. It means letting go of the desire to control everything and accepting what life brings. The Buddha teaches us that suffering arises when we resist what is. So often, we find ourselves wishing things were different, hoping for change, or longing for something more. But when we learn to appreciate what we have right now, we free ourselves from the struggle. Gratitude is the antidote to dissatisfaction. One powerful way to practice gratitude is through a simple habit: keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, take a moment to write down 3 things you are grateful for. They can be big or small. There are no rules. The act of writing helps to solidify this habit in your mind, and soon, you'll find yourself noticing things to be thankful for without even trying. You may wonder, what if my life is hard right now? What if I don't feel like I have anything to be grateful for? In those moments, it can be helpful to start small. Maybe you're grateful for the ability to breathe, for the fact that your body is still moving, or for the people who care about you. Even in the darkest times, gratitude can light a way forward. The Buddha himself faced immense challenges, but he never stopped practicing gratitude for the present moment. In the teachings of Buddhism, the mind is often compared to a garden. If you plant seeds of gratitude, you will cultivate a garden of peace. But if you plant seeds of resentment, anger, or complaint, that is what will grow. You have the power to choose what you plant in your mind. Just as a gardener tends to their plants daily, you must tend to your thoughts with care and intention. Gratitude also helps to open our hearts. It softens the edges of our ego and allows us to connect with others. When you are grateful for the people in your life, you are more likely to express kindness, patience, and understanding. Gratitude makes you more present in your relationships, allowing you to give and receive love freely. Another important aspect of gratitude is forgiveness. When we hold on to grudges, we carry unnecessary weight that prevents us from moving forward. Forgiving others and ourselves is a powerful way to release this burden. The Buddha taught that forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the pain of holding on to anger. If you can practice gratitude for the lessons in every experience, you will find peace even in difficult circumstances. Life is constantly teaching us, if we are willing to listen. The challenges you face today may seem painful, but they are part of your growth. Just as a flower needs both sunlight and rain to bloom, you too need both joy and hardship to become your best self. In the Buddhist tradition, There is a concept known as the four immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity. Gratitude is deeply connected to these qualities. When we practice gratitude, we open ourselves to feeling joy for others, happiness and peace in the face of life's ups and downs. It's a way of embracing the world as it is, without attachment or aversion. Gratitude also leads to a sense of contentment. The more we practice appreciating the present moment, the less we are consumed by desires. We learn to accept things as they are and find joy in simplicity. The Buddha taught that craving leads to suffering. When we stop craving for more and start appreciating what is, we begin to free ourselves from the cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. So, how can you begin? The simplest first step is to commit to noticing the small blessings in your life every day. It doesn't matter how busy or difficult your day may seem, there is always something to be grateful for. Take a moment, pause, and appreciate the goodness that is already present. Over time, this simple practice will shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. Remember, gratitude is not a one-time act, but a way of living. It is a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to see life through the lens of appreciation. Eventually, gratitude will become a part of who you are, and your world will shift in ways you never imagined. When you focus on what you have, rather than what you don't, you begin to realize how much richness exists in your life already. The Buddha encourages us to live with open eyes and an open heart, grateful for every step along the path. Whether the journey is smooth or rocky, gratitude allows us to walk with peace and joy. As you embrace gratitude, you will notice that your perspective begins to change. Life doesn't magically become easier, but your ability to handle challenges grows. When you meet difficulties with a grateful heart, you discover that even adversity can be a teacher. Each moment is an opportunity to practice and grow. Ultimately, the practice of gratitude is a key to unlocking the fullness of life. It opens you to the present moment, to the richness of your experiences, and to the connections you share with others. By cultivating gratitude, you create a foundation of happiness, no matter what life brings your way. It is the simple, powerful practice that transforms your perspective and leads to lasting peace. So, take a deep breath, look around you, and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for today? The answer is waiting in every corner of your life. And when you begin to notice it, you will see how much beauty already surrounds you. Gratitude is the path to a better you. Letting go of attachments, embracing simplicity. Imagine holding onto a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips through your fingers. Now, imagine if you could hold on to nothing. The sand would stay peacefully in your hand, right? This is what letting go of attachments is like. It's not about losing everything, but about freeing yourself from what drags you down. In life, we often hold on to things, physical possessions, emotions, ideas, and relationships that we believe define us. But these attachments don't bring us peace. Instead, they tie us to the past and create an illusion of security. We believe that without these things, we will be lost or incomplete. The truth is, it is only when we let go of these attachments that we truly find freedom. Buddhism teaches us that attachment is the root of suffering. It's not the things themselves that cause pain, but our clinging to them. We often think that if we just have a little more money, more love, more success, then we will be happy. But the more we grasp, the less we truly experience the present moment. The first step to letting go is understanding that happiness does not come from external things. Happiness is within us. It's the stillness of our mind, the calmness of our heart, and the clarity of our purpose. When we stop seeking happiness in the world outside, we begin to find it in the peace inside. Look at nature. The trees do not hold onto their leaves, and the flowers do not clutch the sun. They allow things to come and go, knowing that life flows through cycles. Just like them, we must learn to release what no longer serves us. Letting go of attachments doesn't mean abandoning your dreams or your responsibilities. It means releasing the need for control. It means trusting that life will unfold as it should, and that you don't need to force things to happen. You simply need to be present and allow what is meant to come into your life. This applies to everything in your life: the people you love, the job you do, the possessions you own. Ask yourself, are you holding on too tightly to something that no longer brings you peace? Are you afraid of losing something because you feel you can't live without it? The more you cling to it, the more power it has over you. The key to releasing attachments is realizing that everything is temporary. Nothing stays forever, not the good times nor the bad. This doesn't mean we should stop caring about the people or things in our lives. It means we should stop allowing our happiness to depend on them. Think of your mind like a clear lake. When you throw a stone into the water, ripples form, but they eventually settle. Attachments are like stones. The more you throw in, the more the water stirs. Let go of the stones, and the water becomes still and clear. One of the most common attachments we hold is to our identity. We define ourselves by our job, our family, or the roles we play in society. But the truth is, these labels don't define who we are. They are just roles we play. The real you is the awareness behind those roles, the calm observer within. Letting go of these attachments means letting go of the belief that we need to be something or someone. It means embracing the simplicity of just being. When you stop defining yourself by your possessions, your status, or your accomplishments, you can finally experience life as it is, not through the lens of who you think you should be, but as you truly are. One of the best ways to practice letting go is through mindfulness. In every moment, be aware of what you're holding on to. Whether it's an emotion, a thought, or a physical possession, gently observe it without judgment. Then, allow yourself to release it. Don't force it, just let it go naturally. This process takes time. We are all conditioned to hold on, but every time you practice letting go, you create more space for peace and clarity in your life. And with that space, new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences can flow in. Letting go also means accepting that we cannot control everything. Life is unpredictable. The more we try to control things, the more we feel anxiety and stress. Instead of resisting change, we can learn to flow with it. Life will change, people will change, and circumstances will change. The key is to accept it, not fight it. When you let go, you also let go of fear. Fear of losing, fear of not having enough, fear of being unworthy. These fears are often tied to our attachments. We are afraid of losing what we think we need in order to be happy or safe. But once we release these fears, we find a deep sense of inner peace. Another important aspect of letting go is forgiveness. Often, we hold on to past hurts and grudges. We think that by holding on to them, we are punishing the other person. But in reality, we are only punishing ourselves. Let go of resentment. Forgive, not for the other person's sake, but for your own peace of mind. Letting go doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent. It means we stop clinging to the outcomes of our actions. We do what we can with the best of intentions, and then we let go of the need for control. Trust that life will unfold as it's meant to. In the end, letting go is an act of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in life, and trust in the wisdom of the universe. You are not alone in this journey. Life has a way of guiding you, even when you don't see it. When you let go of attachments, you create the space for life to show you what truly matters. So, the next time you find yourself gripping tightly to something, whether it's an emotion, a possession, or an idea, take a deep breath and ask yourself, can I let this go? Let go of the need to control and allow yourself to simply be. In that space of surrender, you'll find a freedom that nothing in the world can take away from you. In this moment, as you embrace simplicity and release attachments, remember, you are whole, just as you are. You don't need to hold on to anything to prove your worth. You are already enough. Practicing compassion, the key to inner peace. Compassion is the essence of living a peaceful life. It's not just about feeling sorry for someone else. It's about recognizing their pain and choosing to act with kindness. In Buddhism, compassion is seen as a core practice that opens the heart and brings true peace to the mind. It is the antidote to anger, fear, and hatred. Imagine this. You're walking through a busy street, and you see someone struggling. Maybe they've dropped their belongings or seem lost. In that moment, you have a choice. You can continue walking, dismissing their struggle, or you can stop, help, and offer kindness. It's not about grand gestures. Often, the simplest acts of compassion are the most powerful. Helping a stranger, giving a kind word to a friend, or just listening attentively to someone who needs it. All of these are acts of compassion. True compassion arises when we stop thinking about ourselves and begin to understand others. It comes from realizing that we are all interconnected, that every person we meet is facing their own challenges. We all experience pain, confusion, and moments of weakness. The one thing we all need, more than anything, is love and understanding. When you practice compassion, you start to let go of judgment. Instead of criticizing people for their mistakes or shortcomings, you see them through the lens of kindness. You recognize that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have. When you understand this, it becomes easier to forgive, to empathize, and to love without conditions. Compassion is not a weakness. It is a strength. It takes courage to open your heart in a world that can sometimes seem harsh. It requires vulnerability to care for others without expecting anything in return. But in return, you find that your heart becomes lighter, your mind clearer, and your life more fulfilling. One of the most powerful ways to practice compassion is through mindfulness. When you are mindful, you are fully present in each moment. This presence allows you to see and hear people more deeply. You notice their struggles, their needs, and their pain in a way that goes beyond words. And when you truly see someone, you can respond with genuine care. But compassion isn't just about others. It's also about being kind to yourself. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves for our mistakes, dwell on our flaws, and neglect our own needs. True compassion involves being gentle with yourself, accepting your imperfections, and treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Buddhism teaches us that self-compassion is essential to cultivating compassion for others. When you care for yourself, you are better able to care for others. It's like the instruction given on an airplane. You must put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. By nurturing your own well-being, you are creating the capacity to help others from a place of strength, not depletion. Another beautiful aspect of compassion is its ability to dissolve anger. When you are compassionate, you stop seeing others as adversaries. Instead, you see them as fellow travelers on the same journey. This shift in perspective allows you to release resentment, grudges, and hostility. No longer do you need to prove you're right or hold on to past hurts. Compassion frees you from the chains of anger. Compassion also teaches us to be patient with the world and with others. It reminds us that we cannot control everything, but we can choose how we respond. When someone makes a mistake or behaves in a way we don't understand, we can practice patience. Instead of reacting with frustration, we can offer understanding and gentle encouragement. In doing so, we create a space where healing and growth can take place. One of the most profound ways to embody compassion is through service. By helping others without expecting anything in return, you are cultivating compassion in its purest form. Service doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It could be as simple as holding the door for someone, offering a meal to someone in need, or taking the time to listen to someone who is struggling. Every act of service, no matter how small, is an act of compassion. Buddha once said, "If you light a lamp for someone, it will also brighten your own path." Compassion works in the same way. When you extend kindness to others, you also benefit. It's like planting seeds of peace in your heart. The more you practice compassion, the more your own heart expands. You begin to experience joy, warmth, and a deep sense of fulfillment. But how can we practice compassion every day? It starts with simple mindfulness. Pay attention to how you respond to others. Are you quick to judge? Do you offer help when it's needed? Are you patient when someone is struggling? By becoming more aware of your thoughts, words, and actions, you can begin to make small adjustments that will lead to greater compassion in your life. Another practice to cultivate compassion is loving kindness meditation. This practice involves repeating phrases like, "May you be happy," "May you be safe," "May you live with ease." You begin by directing these wishes toward yourself, then extend them to loved ones, strangers, and even people with whom you may have conflict. This meditation softens the heart and nurtures feelings of compassion toward all beings. Through this practice, you begin to realize that everyone, no matter their background or actions, is deserving of love and kindness. The more you repeat these phrases, the more natural it becomes to act with compassion. It transforms not just your relationships with others, but your relationship with yourself. As you continue to practice compassion, you may notice something beautiful happening. Your inner peace grows. The more you help others, the more peaceful you feel. Compassion has a way of returning to you, and it brings peace with it. This inner peace is the foundation for true happiness. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. In the end, practicing compassion is about understanding our shared humanity. It's about realizing that we are all in this together, facing the same struggles and striving for the same peace. When you practice compassion, you help create a world that is kinder, more loving, and more peaceful for everyone. As you go through your day, remember this. Every time you choose kindness, every time you choose compassion, you are bringing peace to the world. And in doing so, you are not just helping others, you are helping yourself. Discipline and self-control, mastering your actions. To understand discipline and self-control, we must first understand the nature of our mind. The mind is like a wild horse, always racing, pulling us in every direction. Without discipline, it runs freely, creating chaos and confusion. But when we learn to tame the horse, we gain the strength to control where it goes. Self-control doesn't mean suppressing who you are. It means harnessing the power of your mind to guide your actions wisely. Discipline is not about strict rules and restrictions. It is about creating a foundation of habits that align with your values. It is the steady practice of making choices that move you toward your highest good, even when it feels difficult. Discipline is a friend, not an enemy. It helps you stay grounded when life gets overwhelming and keeps you on the path when distractions arise. Think of a river flowing through a valley. If the river is allowed to flow unchecked, it will erode the valley and make a mess. But when the river flows within a well-constructed path, it nourishes the land and brings life to everything it touches. Discipline is like this path. It guides your energy and focus, so you don't waste your time and energy on things that don't serve you. Self-control is the awareness to stop before you act. It is the ability to pause, to recognize the urge, and to choose a more peaceful and intentional response. The Buddha taught that our actions are the result of our thoughts. When we learn to control our thoughts, our actions follow naturally. But it requires practice. Without practice, we are like a musician who never picks up their instrument, never learning to play the melody of a calm and focused life. One of the most important things to understand about discipline and self-control is that they are not about perfection. We are all imperfect beings, and we will stumble along the way. But when we fail, we simply start again. Discipline is about getting back on track as many times as it takes, not about never making a mistake. The Buddha said, "If you are unable to find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it?" This truth is always here, waiting for us, even in our failures. Consider the example of a person training to run a race. Each day, they wake up and run, even if it's hard, even if they don't feel like it. They follow a disciplined routine, knowing that every step brings them closer to their goal. But when they trip and fall, they don't give up the race. They get up, dust themselves off, and keep running. It's the same with self-control and discipline. You won't always make the right choice, but each day is a new opportunity to try again. Another key aspect of discipline is understanding that it is not just about controlling external actions, but also controlling the inner dialogue, the way we talk to ourselves. Often, we are our own worst critics, pushing ourselves too hard, or believing we are not good enough. Discipline is about quieting that voice and cultivating a gentler, more supportive way of thinking. When we practice self-control in our thoughts, we create an inner environment of peace, which leads to peaceful actions. A Zen master once said, "When the mind is disciplined, the body follows." In the same way, when we learn to control our impulses and desires, we gain freedom. This freedom allows us to live with greater focus, purpose, and joy. Rather than being swept away by every passing thought or craving, we become the masters of our minds, able to respond calmly and clearly to whatever life brings. In Buddhism, there is a practice known as the Eightfold Path, which guides practitioners in developing a life of balance, wisdom, and compassion. One of the key aspects of this path is right action, which is closely related to self-control and discipline. It encourages us to act in ways that are aligned with our values and the greater good, not out of impulse or selfish desire. Right action requires mindfulness in every step we take, from how we speak to how we move through the world. To cultivate discipline, it is helpful to start with small, manageable steps. The key is consistency, not intensity. Begin with simple habits, such as waking up a few minutes earlier each day, or committing to a short daily meditation practice. Over time, these small actions build momentum, and before you know it, you'll have developed a disciplined routine that supports your growth. Another important aspect of discipline is the power of habit. Our lives are shaped by the habits we form, both good and bad. Every action you take, whether positive or negative, is a habit that you are building. To make lasting change, you must first recognize the habits that are not serving you and replace them with ones that help you grow. This doesn't happen overnight, but with patience and persistence, you can change your habits and, in turn, change your life. When we speak of discipline, it is essential to remember that it is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. True discipline comes from finding joy and meaning in your actions, so that every step feels aligned with your purpose. When you feel connected to your why, discipline becomes effortless. It's no longer about pushing yourself to do something you don't want to do. It becomes about honoring your deepest values and walking the path that leads to true fulfillment. Self-control is also about understanding the impermanence of desire. The Buddha taught that attachment to desires leads to suffering. When we give in to every craving, we lose our peace of mind. But when we learn to pause and observe our desires without acting on them, we can choose whether or not they align with our true purpose. Self-control allows us to recognize that desires are fleeting. They come and go like clouds in the sky. By practicing discipline, we can let go of the impulse to satisfy them immediately and instead focus on what truly serves our well-being. Discipline and self-control are also deeply connected to the idea of detachment. When we are attached to outcomes, we often find ourselves frustrated and disappointed when things don't go as planned. But when we practice detachment, we learn to be at peace regardless of the outcome. Detachment doesn't mean not caring about the results. It means releasing the need for things to go a certain way and allowing life to unfold naturally. This is true freedom. It is the freedom to act with intention, without being driven by fear or attachment. The more you practice discipline and self-control, the more you will find that your mind becomes clearer and your actions become more purposeful. The distractions and temptations that once seemed so overwhelming will lose their power over you. Instead of feeling pulled in multiple directions, you will feel focused and centered. This inner stability will allow you to navigate life's challenges with calmness and clarity. When you develop discipline, you also develop resilience. Life will always throw obstacles your way, but with discipline and self-control, you learn to rise above them. You can weather the storms of life without being swept away by them. You will learn to face challenges with a steady mind, a calm heart, and a focused spirit. This resilience is the foundation upon which you can build a life of lasting happiness and fulfillment. Remember, the journey of discipline and self-control is not a quick one. It is a gradual process that takes time and patience. But every day, with every small choice you make, you are moving closer to becoming the best version of yourself. The key is to be consistent, to stay compassionate with yourself, and to never give up, even when it feels difficult. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to mastering your mind and actions. In the end, discipline is not about control in the traditional sense. It is not about strict rules or repression. It is about self-mastery, the ability to guide your actions with wisdom and compassion, and the power to make choices that align with your highest self. When you develop true discipline, you free yourself from the cycle of impulsive reactions and open up a world of possibility, peace, and growth. Master your actions, and you will master your life. Daily reflection, learning from your journey. In the stillness of the early morning, before the world begins its noisy rush, there is a quiet space within you. It is a space where you can pause and simply be. But how often do we take a moment to reflect on the day that has passed? How often do we look at our thoughts, actions, and feelings with clear eyes and an open heart? Reflection is the mirror that shows us our true selves, free from the judgments and distractions of the world. In Buddhism, this practice is known as self-inquiry or reflection, and it is one of the most powerful tools for growth. When we reflect daily, we become aware of the small details that make up our lives. These details may seem insignificant, but they are the seeds from which habits, thoughts, and actions grow. Just like a garden, the soil of your mind can be nourished or neglected based on what you choose to plant in it. Every action, no matter how small, has the potential to shape your future. Reflection is a tool for understanding. It is not about judging yourself or finding faults, but about understanding where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. Buddhism teaches that all experiences, whether good or bad, can be seen as opportunities to learn. There is no such thing as a mistake. There are only lessons waiting to be understood. When you take time to reflect, you invite wisdom into your life. You allow yourself the space to learn from the past and make wiser decisions in the future. Imagine sitting quietly at the end of the day, just for a few moments. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what did I learn today? What did I do well, and where can I improve? Do not rush the answer. Let it come naturally, like the ripples on a still pond. There is no need to criticize or to worry about what you should have done. Simply observe. Notice how your actions affected others, how your thoughts shaped your emotions, and how you reacted to the challenges of the day. This is your truth, and truth does not need to be forced. Reflection is about being present with yourself. It is easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, moving from one task to the next without taking a breath in between. But when you take time to reflect, you break that cycle of endless doing. You stop and rest in the present moment, without concern for what is coming next or what is past. The Zen practice of mindfulness teaches that we can find peace in each moment, if only we allow ourselves to be fully present in it. Through daily reflection, we also become more aware of our desires, fears, and attachments. These are the things that often pull us off course. When we reflect, we can see how our attachments to outcomes, material possessions, or even approval from others influence our decisions. But Buddhism teaches that true peace comes from letting go of these attachments, not from holding on to them tightly. Through reflection, you can begin to identify the things that are truly important to you and begin to let go of those things that no longer serve your highest good. The power of reflection is in its simplicity. It does not require complex rituals or elaborate practices. It is simply about taking a moment each day to check in with yourself, to look inward, and to be honest with where you are. Some days will be easier than others, and that is okay. There is no right or wrong way to reflect, just as there is no right or wrong way to live your life. The key is consistency. When you make reflection a part of your daily routine, it becomes a natural part of your journey. Buddhism encourages us to approach life with a beginner's mind, free of expectations or judgments. This means that when you reflect, you approach each experience as if you were seeing it for the first time. You do not label it as good or bad, but simply as an experience that offers valuable insight into who you are. This perspective allows you to see life as it truly is, without the filters of your past or future desires. Reflection leads to clarity. In the same way that clouds block the view of the sky, our busy minds often obscure our true nature. But when we take the time to reflect, we clear away those clouds, allowing us to see the vast expanse of our inner peace. Reflection helps us recognize our patterns and habits, especially the ones that hinder our growth. Over time, you will begin to notice the subtle shifts in your thinking and actions. These small changes, when combined, create a life of profound transformation. A simple practice of daily reflection can be life-changing. It doesn't need to take hours or even minutes. It can be as simple as asking yourself a few questions before you go to sleep. What am I grateful for today? What did I learn from my challenges? How can I be better tomorrow? These questions may seem simple, but they can open doors to deeper understanding and growth. When you reflect regularly, you begin to trust the process of your own development. You recognize that you are constantly evolving, always becoming the person you are meant to be. As you develop this habit, you will notice that your life begins to take on a new rhythm. You will feel more grounded, more present, and more aware of the choices you make each day. Reflection teaches you that each moment is an opportunity to grow, and each choice is a step toward your best self. The more you reflect, the more you realize that growth does not happen in grand leaps, but in the quiet, everyday moments that make up your life. Reflection also deepens your connection with others. When you reflect on your interactions with others, you begin to see them through a clearer lens. You start to understand their actions and motivations with more compassion. You notice where you might have caused pain or confusion and where you have brought kindness or understanding. Reflection helps you build stronger, more meaningful relationships because it invites you to be present not only with yourself but with the people around you. One of the most profound aspects of reflection is that it helps you to see your life as a whole. We are often so focused on our goals and desires that we forget to step back and appreciate the journey. Through reflection, you begin to see the connections between your past, present, and future. You understand that everything you've experienced, every choice you've made, has led you to this moment. And in this moment, you have the power to change, to grow, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Reflection is a quiet act of courage. It requires vulnerability and honesty, the willingness to look at yourself without judgment. In a world full of noise and distractions, taking the time to reflect is a bold and peaceful act. It is the courage to face the truth of who you are, with all of your strengths and weaknesses, and to embrace the journey of self-discovery. When you reflect daily, you are not just observing your life. You are actively shaping it. Remember, every day is an opportunity to begin again. Reflection allows you to start each day with a clean slate, with renewed energy and intention. It gives you the clarity to move forward with purpose, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to embrace what will help you grow. As you continue your journey, let reflection be your guide. Take time each day to pause, to look within, and to learn from the experiences you've had. The path to becoming your best self is not a destination but a continuous process, and reflection is the compass that will guide you through every step. In the quiet moments of reflection, you will find the wisdom you need to grow, the peace you longed for, and the clarity to walk your path with confidence. Living with intent, aligning your life with your values. The wind moves the leaves, but the tree stands firm. The water flows around the rock, but the rock remains in place. This is the strength of living with intent. When your actions are guided by purpose and clarity, nothing can move you off course. Life often pulls us in many directions, each with its own demands and distractions. Without clear intention, we may find ourselves lost in a sea of choices, unsure of where we are headed. Intentional living is the foundation of a meaningful life. It means choosing to act in a way that aligns with your deepest values and beliefs, rather than simply reacting to what life throws at you. To live with intent is to be fully aware of your actions, thoughts, and decisions, knowing they are connected to something greater than yourself. It is a practice of mindfulness in motion, an ongoing reminder to live with purpose. Buddhism teaches us that the mind is a powerful tool. It can either be a source of peace or a cause of suffering, depending on how we use it. When we act without purpose, we are like a leaf caught in the wind, blown from one place to another without direction. But when we act with intention, we are like the tree standing strong, rooted in the earth, unshaken by external forces. The tree doesn't try to control the wind. It simply stands firm and allows the wind to pass by. To live with intent is to consciously choose how we want to be in the world. It is about examining our actions and aligning them with our values, our heart, and our true purpose. It is not about being rigid or controlling every moment, but about being aware of our choices and their impact. This practice can transform even the most mundane tasks into acts of mindfulness and meaning. The first step in living with intent is understanding what truly matters to you. What are your values? What do you believe in? These questions may seem simple, but they require deep reflection. Many people go through life without ever pausing to ask themselves what they truly value. They follow the path of others, getting caught up in societal expectations, family pressures, or fleeting desires. But living with intent requires that we make our own choices, guided by our inner wisdom. To discover your values, take time to sit in stillness. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what is most important to me? What do I want to stand for in this world? Let these questions settle in your mind without rushing to answer. The answers may come gradually, and that's okay. Your values will reveal themselves in your thoughts, in your quiet moments, and in the actions that truly fulfill you. Once you have a sense of your values, the next step is to align your actions with them. Every day presents countless opportunities to live intentionally. From the way you speak to others, to the way you treat yourself, to how you approach your work and relationships, Each moment is an opportunity to live according to your values. It's easy to get caught up in distractions, but when you act with purpose, everything you do becomes an expression of who you truly are. Living with intent also means saying no to things that do not serve your purpose. This is one of the most challenging aspects of intentional living because it requires letting go of things that may seem important but are actually distractions. It may be relationships that drain your energy, commitments that don't align with your values, or even internal habits and thought patterns that keep you stuck. Saying no is not about rejection, but about making space for what truly matters. When you live with intent, your choices become clearer. You are no longer overwhelmed by the sheer number of options in front of you. Instead, you can evaluate each choice through the lens of your values. Will this decision help me grow? Will it bring me closer to my true purpose? Will it align with the kind of person I want to become? By asking these questions, you bring clarity to your life and begin to move with greater focus. One of the beautiful aspects of living with intent is that it doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic changes. In fact, the most powerful shifts often come in the smallest of actions. For example, if kindness is one of your values, you may choose to smile at a stranger or offer a kind word to someone who is struggling. If peace is important to you, you may choose to take a few moments of stillness each day, allowing your mind to rest and recalibrate. These small actions, repeated consistently, can have a profound impact on your life and the lives of those around you. Intentional living also means being mindful of your environment. The people, places, and things you surround yourself with shape your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. If you want to live with purpose, it's important to create an environment that supports your values. This might mean spending more time with people who inspire you, eliminating distractions that pull you off track, or creating a physical space that reflects your intentions. Another key element of living with intent is the practice of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on how you lived. Did your actions align with your values? Were there moments when you got caught up in distractions or reactions? Reflection is not about judgment but about learning and growth. It's about recognizing where you lived with intent and where you may have strayed from your true path. This practice of self-awareness helps you continuously refine your actions and stay connected to your purpose. Living with intent also means embracing imperfection. It's easy to think that living intentionally means being perfect at all times. But the reality is that we are all human, and we will make mistakes. What matters is how we respond to those mistakes. Living with intent means acknowledging our imperfections, learning from them, and continuing on our path with renewed clarity. In the end, living with intent brings a deep sense of fulfillment. It allows you to move through life with confidence, knowing that your actions are aligned with your true self. You no longer feel lost or uncertain because you have a clear sense of direction. Every decision, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to live the life you want to create. As you continue on your journey, remember that living with intent is a lifelong practice. There will be times when you stray from your path, but that's part of the process. What matters is that you stay connected to your values and keep choosing to act with purpose. The more you practice, the more natural it will become, and the more aligned your life will be with your true purpose. Living with intent is not a destination. It's a journey. It's about becoming more and more aware of your choices and taking steps each day to live a life that reflects your values. When you live with purpose, life becomes simpler, clearer, and more meaningful. So, take a deep breath, pause for a moment, and reflect on the path ahead. Your life is in your hands, and each moment is an opportunity to live with intent, balancing effort and rest, the middle way to success. In life, many of us rush, thinking that success comes from constant effort. We wake up early, work long hours, and push ourselves beyond limits. We believe that if we don't keep moving, we'll fall behind. Yet, there's a silent truth in nature that we often overlook. Even the most powerful rivers need moments of stillness to flow smoothly. The bamboo doesn't rush to grow, yet it stands tall and strong. The middle way, taught by the Buddha, shows us the path of balance. It's neither about overworking ourselves nor about being lazy. Instead, it's about knowing when to put in effort and when to rest. Just as a farmer knows when to plant seeds and when to let the earth rest, so too must we understand the rhythms of effort and rest in our lives. Effort without rest leads to burnout. Rest without effort leads to stagnation. The art of balance lies in understanding that both are necessary. In a world that celebrates doing, it's easy to forget that being is just as important. Buddha once said, "Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life." This spiritual life isn't about exerting ourselves constantly or doing nothing at all. It's about balance, knowing when to push forward and when to let go. The key to success, then, is not how hard you work or how long you rest, but how you harmonize the two. You might have noticed that when you work nonstop, even if you achieve things, it often feels hollow. Your body is tired, your mind is scattered, and your heart is distant. But when you take time to rest, your mind clears, your energy refills, and you begin to see solutions where once there were only problems. This is the power of balance, to work in harmony with the natural flow of life. Imagine a musician playing an instrument. If they only played, non-stop, without pausing for breath, the music would lose its rhythm. The same happens in life. We need to pause, reflect, and rejuvenate. This moment of stillness is where creativity and clarity are born. Yet, finding this balance isn't always easy. We live in a world that pushes us to do more, be more, achieve more. The pressure to constantly move forward is intense. But remember, the path to success is not just about doing, but also about being. Being present in the moment, being aware of your needs, being kind to yourself when you need rest. Think of the seasons. In the winter, nature rests. It's a time of stillness, where the earth gathers its strength for the spring, and in spring, the earth gives birth to new life. If the seasons didn't rest, they wouldn't have the strength to grow. Our lives, too, follow a cycle. We work, we rest, we grow. Without rest, there is no true growth. In your own life, do you often find yourself pushing too hard, thinking that effort alone will get you what you want? Or perhaps you feel stuck, unable to move forward, because you're waiting for the perfect moment to act? The middle way shows us that success doesn't come from extremes. It comes from balance. Balance is not just about time management. It's about understanding your energy and needs. It's about being mindful of when your body and mind are tired and knowing when to step back. This isn't laziness. It's wisdom. Buddhism teaches us that our actions must come from a place of calm. If you are constantly running on empty, your actions will be hasty, shallow, and reactive. But when you are at peace with yourself, when you've allowed yourself the space to rest and recharge, your actions will be thoughtful, intentional, and powerful. To achieve balance, it's important to notice the signs that you need rest. You might feel anxious, distracted, or irritable. You might notice that the things that once excited you now seem exhausting. These are signs that your mind and body need time to rest and rejuvenate. Pay attention to these signs. Honor them. Your energy is not limitless. It must be replenished. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of more is better, but often, less is more. By giving yourself permission to rest, you're not giving up on your goals. Instead, you're strengthening your ability to pursue them. Like a bow that must be drawn back before it is released, sometimes you must pause to gather strength before moving forward with power. In the Buddhist tradition, we practice mindfulness in all things, including rest. When you rest, be present with it. Don't feel guilty or anxious. Simply allow yourself to rest fully. Your body, mind, and soul need this time to replenish so that you can return to your work with renewed energy and focus. Rest is also a form of self-compassion. In a world that celebrates relentless achievement, taking time for yourself might seem indulgent, but it's not. It's necessary. If you don't rest, you risk running yourself dry, and eventually, you'll have nothing left to give. When you rest, you honor your humanity. You acknowledge that you are not a machine, but a person who needs care and nurturing. The middle way encourages us to let go of the extremes and find peace in the middle. It tells us that success isn't about doing more, but about doing what matters with the right energy and focus. It's about knowing when to work and when to rest, understanding that both are essential parts of the journey. This doesn't mean that you won't face challenges. It doesn't mean that there won't be times when you need to push harder than usual. But when you have the balance of effort and rest in your life, you'll find that those times of challenge are easier to navigate. You'll have the energy to face them head-on, knowing that you've cared for yourself, and when the work is done, you can rest and recharge. In the end, the key to success is not how hard you work, but how wisely you work. Effort and rest must go hand in hand. They are not opposites but complements. When you learn to balance them, you will unlock the full potential of your life, living with purpose, peace, and power. The final transformation, becoming the best version of yourself. Ah, dear traveler, we have reached the end of this journey together. But remember, every ending is just a new beginning in disguise. You have walked through the lessons, absorbed the wisdom, and taken the first steps on the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Let us reflect together on what it truly means to transform. First, let me ask you, have you felt the shift within you? Can you see how even the smallest changes, like pausing before speaking, choosing kindness over anger, or taking a moment to breathe, can shape your life into something extraordinary? This is transformation, not in a grand or loud way, but quietly, steadily, like a river carving through rock over time. Transformation does not happen overnight. It is not a dramatic moment of awakening. It is in the daily effort, the commitment to live better today than yesterday. This is what we have explored in every step of our journey. Buddhism teaches us that growth is not about reaching a destination, but about embracing the process itself. Do you remember the traveler with the broken compass? You were that traveler, wandering in circles, unsure of your path. But now, you have fixed your compass. You have learned to walk with purpose, guided by habits that uplift your mind, body, and soul. The first step was mindfulness, wasn't it? Learning to be present, to live in the now, and to stop being consumed by the past or the future. With mindfulness, you found clarity, a clear lens through which you now see the world and yourself. Then, gratitude became your companion. You realized that life, even with its imperfections, is a gift. You learned to shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have, finding joy in the simplest things, a sunrise, a kind word, or even the breath in your lungs. You let go of attachments that weighed you down, didn't you? It wasn't easy to release the things you clung to, but with each letting go, you felt lighter, freer. You learned to embrace simplicity and see that true happiness lies not in having more, but in needing less. Compassion became your guiding light. You stopped seeing others as obstacles or threats and began to recognize the shared struggles of all beings. You softened your heart, realizing that kindness is a strength, not a weakness. Discipline and self-control, these became your tools. You understood that freedom comes not from doing whatever you want, but from choosing what aligns with your values. Through discipline, you built habits that serve your higher self, step by step. You started reflecting daily, didn't you? Taking a moment each evening to ask, what did I do well today? What can I improve tomorrow? This simple habit turned your life into a constant process of learning and growing. Intentionality became your compass. No longer did you act without thought. Every decision, every step was aligned with your deepest values. This gave your life direction, a sense of purpose that filled each day with meaning. You embraced patience. Oh, how powerful it is to wait without frustration. You learned that some things take time and that the best things often grow slowly, like a tree taking root. Patience taught you resilience, the ability to endure without giving up. Even your words changed. You became mindful of how you spoke, knowing that words have power, to hurt or to heal. You chose to speak with honesty, kindness, and care, transforming the way you connect with others. Finally, you found balance. No longer did you push yourself to exhaustion or waste your days in idleness. You learned to walk the middle way, where effort and rest dance in harmony. Now, you stand here, transformed, not perfect, but better, wiser, more at peace. Becoming the best version of yourself is not about being flawless. It's about being authentic. It's about living in alignment with your values and embracing the person you are meant to be. So, what comes next? The journey continues. Each day is a new opportunity to grow, to learn, to serve, and to love. The habits you've built are your foundation, but there is always room to deepen your practice and expand your heart. Before we part, let me ask you one last time. Will you carry these lessons forward? Will you continue to walk this path with intention, with gratitude, with courage? The answer lies within you, waiting to be awakened. Now, dear one, if these words have touched you, if this journey has inspired you, let me humbly ask this. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers have subscribed. If you feel this content has brought value to your life, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us share more wisdom with others who are also searching for their path. And so, as you step forward from this moment, remember this. You already have everything you need within you to become your best self. You are the sculptor, and your life is the masterpiece. Keep shaping it with care, patience, and love. Until we meet again, may your journey be filled with peace, purpose, and boundless joy.